ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। जिज्ञासाधिकरणम् अथातो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा। जन्माद्यधिकरणम् जन्माद्यस्य यतः। शास्त्रयोनित्वाधिकरणम् शास्त्रयोनित्वात्। समन्वयाधिकरणम् तत्तु समन्वयात्। ईक्षत्यधिकरणम् ईक्षतेन शब्दं गौणश्चेन्नात्मशब्दात्। तन्निष्ठस्य मोक्षोपदेशात्। हेयत्व अवचनाच्च स्वाप्ययात्। गतिसामान्यात् श्रुतत्वाच्च। आनन्दमयाधिकरणम् आनन्दमयः अभ्यासात्। विकारशब्दान्नेति चेन्न प्राचुर्यात्। तद्धेतु व्यपदेशात्। मात्रावर्णिकमेव च गीयते न इतरः अनुपपत्तेः। वेदव्यपदेशाच्च कामाच्च न अनुमानापेक्षा। अस्मिन्नस्य च तद्योगं शास्ति। अंतरधिकरणम् अन्तस्तद्धर्मोपदेशात्। वेदव्यपदेशाच्चान्यः। आकाशाधिकरणम् आकाशस्थल्लिङ्गात्। प्राणाधिकरणम् अतएव प्राणः। ज्योतिश्चरणाधिकरणम् ज्योतिश्चरणाभिधानात्। छन्दोभिधानात्मेति चेत् न तथा चेतोर्पणनिगतात् तथा हि दर्शनम्। भूतादिपादव्यपदेश उपपत्तेश्चैवम्। उपदेशभेदात्मेति चेन् न उभयस्मिन्नपि अविरोधात्। प्रतर्दनाधिकरणम् प्राणस्तथानुगमात्। न वक्तुः आत्मोपदेशादिति चेत् अध्यात्मसम्बन्धभूमा ह्यस्मिन्। शास्त्रदृष्ट्या तु उपदेशो वामदेववत्। जीवमुख्यप्राणलिङ्गान्नेति चेत् न उपासात्रैविद्यात्। आश्रितत्वात् इह तद्योगात्। सर्वत्र प्रसिद्ध्यधिकरणम् सर्वत्र प्रसिद्धोपदेशात्। विवक्षित गुणोपपत्तेश्च अनुपपत्तेस्तु न शारीरः। कर्म कर्तृ व्यपदेशाच्च शब्दविशेषात्। स्मृतेश्च अर्भकौकस्त्वात् तद्व्यपदेशाच्च नेति चेन्न निचायत्वात्। एवं व्योमवच्च संभोगप्राप्तिरिति चेत् न वैशेष्यात्। अत्ताधिकरणम् अत्ताचराचरग्रहणात्। प्रकरणाच्च गुहप्रविष्टाधिकरणम् गुहां प्रविष्टावात्मनो हि तद्दर्शनात्। विशेषणाच्च अंतरधिकरणम् अंतर उपपत्तेः स्थानादिव्यपदेशाच्च सुख विशिष्टाभिधानादेव च। श्रुतोपनिषत्क गत्यभिधानाच्च गत्यभिधानाच्च गतिभिधानाच्च। अनवस्थितेः असंभवाच्च नेतरः। अंतर्यामी अधिकरणम् अंतर्यामी अधिदैवादिषु तद्धर्म व्यपदेशात्। न च स्मार्थम् अतद्धर्माभिलाभात्। शारीरश्च उभयेपि भेदनैनम् अधीयते। भेदेन एनम् अधीयते. So we are now going to see the last sutra of Antaryami Adhikarana. First, as usual, we will have the general analysis of the sutra. And here, Vyasacharya is negating another possible suggestion from another Purvapakshi. Without Purvapakshi, Brahma Sutra would be interesting. The subject matter of controversy regarding Antaryami is what? Is it a Devata? No. Is it Prakriti or Pradhanam? No. And that the third suggestion, is it Jivatma? which is referred in the sutra as Shariraka Jivatma. Because Jivatma also seems to have all the properties mentioned there. Jivatma controls the subtle body, which is inert. It elements the physical body, the non-functional inert body. So Antaryamitvam fits there with Jiva also. And Jivatma happens to be Chetana Vastu, unlike Prakriti. And Jivatma is also eternal, Amritaha. How? Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam cycle continues forever. So why not take Jivatma also as Antaryami? But it is now established by Vyasacharya that Antaryami is Brahman only and not any other thing. Antaryami is presented in this Brahmanam as the controller of Jivatma also. As Krishna said, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantrarudhani Mayaya. So we are not talking about Jivatma, the controller. And Vyasacharya says, we talk of Antaryami, the Brahman only, and not Jivatma. So the Antaryami presented in this Brahmanam as the controller of Jivatma is given in both versions of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I mentioned this earlier during our Brihadaranyaka discussions, where there are two shakas in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Kanva Shaka, and this is Shukla Yajurveda, and Madhyandina Shaka. And in fact, these two versions are almost similar only, but here and there, a few differences are there. And that also it's verbal difference only, not too much in terms of concept. But the teaching is the same. And Shankaracharya has written commentary only to Kanva Shaka. And Sureshwaracharya, he wrote the commentary on Madhyandina Shaka. But in this particular case, the Antaryami is the controller that is presented in two different languages in both the Shakas. So what is that? In Kanva Shaka, the language is what? Yaha Vijnane Tishtanam Vijnanat Antaraha Yam Vijnanam Navedam Yasya Vijnanam Shariram Yo Vijnanam Antere Yamayati Yeshataha Atma Antaryami Amritaha. So here Vijnanam means Jivatma. So Jivatma is often referred to in the Upanishad as Vijnanatma. Therefore, Vijnane Tishtan. Yaha Jivatmani Tishtan. And in Madhyandina Shaka, there is a slight variation. And there the mantra says how? Yaha Atmani Tishtan. Earlier, Yaha Vijnane Tishtan. Here it is Yaha Atmani Tishtan. Atmanaha Antaraha. Yam Atmanam Naveda. Yasya Atma Shariram. Ya Atmana Atmanam Antaro Yamayati. Yeshataha Atmam Antaryami Amritaha. So this mantra begins with Yaha Atmani Tishtan. Jivatmani Tishtan. So combining these two mantras, then we can conclude that Antaryami is different from Jivatma and Antaryami resides in Jivatma and controls Jivatma. That is why in the sutra, the word Ubhaye is used. Ubhaye means both the shakas, both the branches of Shukla Yajurveda. Both Kanva Shaka and Madhyandina Shaka, they reveal Antaryami is the controller of Jivatma and therefore different from Jivatma and which should be Brahman only. That is the analysis. And now let us go to the word analysis. That's the general analysis. Let's go to the word analysis. And here for the word analysis, we have to supply two words. One is Antaryami and another is Na. And the Na, where from it comes? Not from dictionary. The Na is taken from the previous sutra. What was the previous sutra? 50th sutra. Na cha smartham atad dharma vilabhat. That Na. So then the Shariraka, that is the third word, Shariraka means Sharire Bhavaha Shariraha. One who resides in the body. That is Jivatma. And the Cha means is ordered to mean also. Because also means what? Because we have negated Devata, Prakriti, both we have negated. Now we are negating Jivatma also. So that is, and therefore he says Jivatma also. So what is the final meaning now? The final meaning will be Antaryami Jivatma cha nabhavati. Antaryami cannot be Jivatma also. What is the reason? Now the next word, Ubhaye. Ubhaye means both the branches of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That is Kanva Shaka and Madhyangana Shaka. Therefore, Ubaye Abi in both of them, both the Shakas of Brihadaranyaka. Then he means definitely, indeed, emphasis, as is well known. It can also be taken as Ketvarte also because of that reason. Therefore, because of both the Shakas, Yenam Adiyate. So, Antaryaminam Adiyate. Both reveal Antaryami. How? Bedena Adiyate. They show it as different. Different from what? Different from Jiva. Or different from Sharira Antaryami that is revealed here. So Shankaracharya says only this much. And the Upanishad reveals Antaryami as different from Jivatma that is presented as the inner controller of Jivatma. Controller must be different from the controlled. And not only that, there is another expression also. And that is what? Antaryami resides in Jivatma. Then Jivatma becomes the residence and Antaryami is resident, and resident Antaryami is different from residence Jivatma. As the container content, they are different, that is clear here. As the controller also different, that is also clear. Therefore, Antaryami is certainly Brahman alone and not Jivatma. Therefore, Bhinnatvena Yenam Adiyate. So, because of the difference, Bhinnatvena. So, with the word analysis of the sutra is also over. So, Vyasacharya, now what he has established? That Antaryami is not a Devata, it is not Prakriti, it is not Jivatma also. Therefore, Antaryami is Brahman only. Now, the third sutra can create a big problem. For a lot of people. If it is not already creating, Acharya has already created it. What is that? Vyasacharya clearly says that Antaryami is Brahman only and it is not Jivatma. So from this what is clear? Brahman is different from Jivatma. So Paramatma is different from Jivatma. That is clearly said by Vyasacharya. That is Paramatma is different from Jivatma. Paramatma resides in Jivatma. Paramatma is the controller of Jivatma. And when this is so clearly said in the sutra, maybe you might have guessed by now where I am coming to. How come you say about Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam? While here you say Brahman, Paramatma is Antaryami of Jivatma, the controller. Therefore, the basic question is, what is Advaita philosophy itself? Shaking the fundamentals. Say that very clearly. Do you say both of them are identical or both of them are different? One being the controller, the other being the control. And Shankaracharya expects this doubt. Of course, he expects every doubt. And therefore, he himself answers the question, saying, we say both. We don't have any confusion ourselves to say both. That is, niyama, niyamaka bhavaha api asti, abedaha api asti. Then the question is, how can you say both? If they are different, they cannot be identical. If they are identical, they cannot be different. You cannot hold on you have to hold on only to one of them. When both are contradictory views, how can you have both the views? And the answer is, we have got a two-tier system in Advaita, which unfortunately all the other systems do not agree and do not want to agree also. Namely, the Vyavaharika Drishti and Paramarthika Drishti, that Veda. We have already mentioned this earlier. So from Vyavaharika Drishti, Vyavaharika angle, we accept Jivatma, Paramatma, Vedaha. Difference. Jiva, Ishvara, Vedaha, we accept. That is why Advaitin also does Sashtanga Namaskara to the Lord. He has no conflict to worship the God. That means the day one can say, for example, a person who is involved, on that day, if he can say, Aham Ishvaraha Asmi, and also if he can do Sashtanga Namaskara to Ishvara without any conflict, that day one has thoroughly understood Advaita. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, here the Veda is talked about from Vyavaharika Drishti, because the Antaryami we are talking about is not Nirgunam Brahma, but it is the Maya Sahitam, the controller. The moment we say controller, Upadhi has come, Maya has to come. And when we say Jivatma is controlled, then Shariraha means Sharira Visishtaha and Maya Visishtaha. And therefore, from this angle, Beda is highlighted, difference is highlighted. And from Paramarthika angle, Tattvam Eva, Tvam Eva Tat. Tattvamasi, Tvam Eva Tat, Aham Brahma Asmi. From the Paramarthika angle. Now, the next question is, who gave you the sanction to invent this two-tier system? We have got also a three-tier system actually. There is a Pratibhashika Drishti also. We have mentioned sometime earlier. That means you go on increasing the tiers according to your convenience. And where is the pramanam for all that? If you are a follower of the Shastra, give me Shastra pramanam. That's what they ask the Advaitis. And Shankaracharya says, if you are available to listen, I will tell you. And he says in the same Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, what it says, Yatra hi dvaitam iva bhavati, tatra itara jigrati, itara itaram pashyati, itara itaram shrunoti, yatra va asya sarvam atmaiva bhut, tat kenakam pashyet, kenakam jigred, kenakam vijaniyat, kenakam shruniyat. So the Upanishad very clearly says, where the avidya avastha is there, where there is ignorance, otherwise called vyavaharika drishti is there, in that dvaitam is prevalent. Yatra hi dvaitam iva bhavati. But in the vision of a jnani, yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva abhut vijanataha, tatra ko mohaha ka shokaha ekatvam anupashyata. Like that, we have got so many verses in the Upanishads to show that the Brihadaranyaka talks about the two-tier system, namely avidya avastha called vyavaharika drishti and vidya avastha called paramarthika drishti. Therefore, yonyam devatam upaste anyosau anyohamasmiti nasa vedam yatha pashurevam sadevana. Said in some other place in Brihadaranyaka itself. We have seen all these mantras in great detail. So as long as the person is ignorant, he will say, Lord is different and I am different. And when Jnanam comes, he doesn't say, Atma ityeva upasita, avidya sutram, vidya sutram, all we did elaborately in Brihadaranyaka. In short, both are right from the standpoint of the angle, the drishti. And here in Antaryami Brahmanam, it is what drishti? It is Vyavaharika drishti is taken, therefore Veda is said. Now we will come to the summary of this Adhikarana. So summary means what? We know this shloka. Vishayo Vishayaschaiva, Purva Paksha Statottaram, Sangadhischaiva Panjangam, Shastredhikaranam, Smritam. 5 factors that we fitted in. So Vishayaha, subject matter. Subject matter of the controversy is what? Vishayaha. Antaryami or inner controller mentioned in 3.7.3 of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 3rd chapter, 7th section, 3rd mantra. We already read it. Then Samshayaha, the doubt. Doubt is what? Is Antaryami is Brahman itself or anything else? It can be anything else means what? It can be a Devata, it could be Jivatma or Prakriti or a Siddha Yogi or Siddha Purusha. He may say it's a Siddha Purusha also. Acharya includes this also in his Bhashya, Siddha Yogi also. And the third factor is Purvapaksha. Purvapaksha means it is not Brahman. There is a Purvapaksha always is not Brahman. It can be Devata, Prakriti or Jivatma. He does not accept Brahman. So for each one, he has one reason also. For example, Prithivyam Tishtan. Prithivyam Tishtan means what? Location is mentioned. It is there in the Prithivi. Therefore, it may be a Devata. So being the universal cause, Prithivi must be a Devata. And Jivatma being controller of the body, it may be Devata, controller of all the Sukha Shariras and all that body, may be Devata. So Purupakshis views are all of them. So these are all called Yukti Abhasaha. And the fourth factor is Siddhanta. Siddhanta is what? Is Antaryami is Brahman only. Because all the properties mentioned squarely fit in with Brahman only. So if you take Devata, Prakriti, etc., only certain attributes will fit, but all the other attributes snugly fit in only with Brahman. Therefore, Antaryami is Brahmaiva. And the fifth factor is called the Sangati, that you know. This Adhikaranam topic occurs in the right place, namely that it occurs in the first chapter, the second pada, after the fourth adhikaranam, and before the fifth adhikaranam. So it is appropriate only. Of course, as I told, it's a technical discussion, but it's adequate for us to know this much. So that means it's not out of place. So with this, we conclude the summary of this Antaryami Adhikaranam also. And now, before going to the next Adhikaranam, we have to discuss maybe one more point. The Antaryami discussed here is Sagunam Brahma. Should be careful. Sagunam Brahma. Here we talk about Beda or division. And once controller status comes, Maya Sahitam, Upadhi Sahitam comes, therefore it is Sagunam Brahma only. But generally, in Brahma Sutras, we do not classify, I have mentioned this earlier, we do not classify Brahman as Sagunam or Nirgunam. Why? Because we find Sagunam Brahman is discussed in Upasanas and Vedanta Prakaranam also in both. For example, in the previous Antaradhikarana that we saw last class, the Akshi Purushaha we analyzed and we proved to be Brahman. And it was for what? Upasana or Jnanam. There we saw it was for the purpose of Upakoshala Vidya. If you remember Upakoshala, there Brahma Upasana was talked about, and the palam given is what? Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means what? Travel after death. There Brahman was discussed for Upasana purpose only, and that Brahman is Sagunam Brahma. And here also we talk about Sagunam Brahman only. But here the purpose of the sutra is not for Upasana. That is the difference. Purpose of this sutra is not for Upasana, but it is later to realize Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. Sometimes Sagunam Brahman is said as a stepstone for Nirguna Jnana. So Sagunam Brahman, Saguna Brahma Upasana is said as a stepstone for Nirguna Brahma Jnana. For example, in Taittiriya Upanishad, we saw the Bhrigu the third Valli. Tasmadvaye tasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. Second one actually. Akashad vayuho vayoragnihi agnerapaha adbhya prithivya prithivya voshadayaha voshadibhyonnam annat purushaha. So Taittiriya Upanishad clearly introduces Jagat Karanam Brahman as Sagunam Brahman. It is because Nirgunam Brahman can be neither Karanam nor Karyam. Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Swayam Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Swayam Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. So the introduction of Sagunam Brahman in Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmanandavalli, is not for Upasana. In the same Brahmavalli itself, Sayaschayam Purushe, Yascha Savaditye, Sa Ekaha, Sa Evam Vitam. It is for Nirguna Saguna Aikyam. That is aimed here. Sa Ekaha. Therefore, we will have to differentiate two types of Saguna Brahman, namely one for the purpose of Upasana, where Aikyam will never be introduced. Nirgunam Brahma will never be introduced with Sagunam Brahma. And in the Saguna introduction, which is meant for Upasana, we call it Upasyam Brahma. Whereas in Brahmanandavalli also, the Jagat Karanam Brahma, Sagunam Brahma is introduced, but it is not for Upasana, but as a stepping stone for Nirgunam Brahma, Nirguna Jnana. And in that context, the very same Sagunam Brahma is called Nyeyam Brahma. So one is called Upasyam Brahma, Sagunam Brahma, another is called Nyeyam Brahma. Thus, a Sagunam Brahma introduced for Upasana is called Upasyam Brahma, and the Sagunam Brahma introduced for later Nirguna Jnana is called Nyeyam Brahma. This should be clear. So how to see the difference between them? The difference is this. When Sagunam Brahman is present, the focus is on what? Focus is on the guna, attribute, which makes Brahman superior, and it emphasizes differences between Brahman and me. The differences are retained until the end. So Karanatvam is highlighted. My inferior quality is highlighted. I am Dinaha, all that. So Upasyam Brahma is Guna Pradana. In Jagat Karanam Brahma or Nyeyam Brahma, it is not for highlighting the Karanatvam and its temporary attributes, and the emphasis is on Brahma. and Karanatvam is loosely attached. Because sooner or later, when Tattvamasi comes, Karanatvam is taken away and Jiva will lose the Karyatvam status also. And it is neither Karanam nor Karya. We are not going to retain Karanatvam status of Brahman, and at the same time, we are not going to retain the Karyatvam status of Jiva also. And at the time of the Mahavakyam, Karyam, Karana, Vilakshana, Chaitanyam alone is there. So when it is loosely attached, we say it is Nyayam Brahman. And when the same Chaitanyam is tightly attached to attributes, to gunas, then it is called Upasyam Brahman. And when you gain Jnanam, we own up Nirgunam Brahman, the ultimate goal. We own up. Ishwaratvam has no value because it is Mithya, since it is caused by Maya. Upasyam Brahma is Sagunam. It is Guna Pradhanam. And Nyayam Brahma is Jnana Pradhanam. In Upasyam Brahma, attributes are highlighted. But in Nyayam Brahma, the attributes are dropped once Jnanam is attained. And Nirgunam Brahman is wound up. When we study each Adhikaranam in Brahma Sutra, we don't ask whether it is Upasya Brahma Prakaranam or Nyaya Brahma Prakaranam. At the end, normally the teacher points out which relates to what. So Antaryamitva status is loosely attached and it is dropped at any time. So by studying the context, we will know. And after Antaryami Brahmanam, we will see Aksharam Brahma also free from all attributes. So Antaryami Karanam Brahma is introduced and Aksharam Brahma Karanatvam status is dropped. So now this always will happen in the analysis of Brahma Sutras. Now we will go to the next Adhikaranam. Adrishyatva Adhikaranam. Topic of this Adhikaranam is Adrishyatva Adhikaranam. And this first shloka number 21 of this pada, 52 of Brahma Sutra. So Adrishyatwadi Gunakaha Dharmoktehe. That is the sutra. Adrishyatwadi Gunakaha Dharmoktehe. So this Adhikaranam is called Adrishyatva Adhikaranam. This is a small Adhikaranam only, consisting of only 3 sutras. And the topic taken for analysis what? Is from Mundaka Upanishad, first Mundaka, first section, 6th mantra. This mantra we already have used it many times. Yattadadreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, avarnam, achakshuhu, shrotram, tadapanipadam, nityam, vibhum, sarvagadam, susukshmam, tadavyayam, yadbhuta yonim, paripashyanti, dhiraha. This we have used this many, we are going to use this many times also. First, let us do the background behind this mantra. There was a rishi called Shaunaka. He approached his guru Angiras and he asked him a question: what is that by knowing which everything is known? See, look at that. I need to know only one thing so that everything will be known to me. He wants to find what is that by knowing which everything is known. What is in the mind of the student when he asked the question? He had the basic knowledge that material cause alone appears as many types of creation. That knowledge he had. Since Ekam Karanam appears as Anekam Karya. One Karanam, one gold appears, so many ornaments. One wood appears, so many furnitures. One clay appears, so many parts and all that. So Eka Karana Vijnanena Sarva Karya Vijnanam Bhavati. By knowing one material cause, one can know all the effects. This he knows. So effects do not exist separate from cause. By knowing the cause, effects are as good as known. So with this knowledge, the student asked this question to his teacher. What is the one ultimate cause of the world, ultimate material cause of the world, knowing which the entire universe is known? By knowing the wood, you can know furniture only. Similarly, knowing gold, you can know only ornaments. But when you know the ultimate cause of the world, Eka Karana Vijnanena Aneka Karya Vijnatam Bhavati. The question is, Jagat Karanam Kim? That is the question. Cause, material cause of the world. And Angiras elaborately answers this question. Drishyanganas. One is called Paravidya. You can call it superior Vidya. And another is called Aparavidya, inferior Vidya. So knowledge of cause is higher Vidya, higher knowledge. And knowledge of effect is lower Vidya. Why do we say so? By knowing one effect, the cause is not known. By knowing the cause, all effects are known. Karya Vijnanena Sarva Vijnatam na bhavati. By knowing only the effect, Sarva Vijnanam you don't get. Karana Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam bhavati. Karya Vijnanam is aparam, lower category. And not only that, teacher will show Karana Vijnanam will liberate a person also. And Karya Vijnanam will not liberate a person. So Karya Vidya is Apara Vidya and it keeps you in bondage. And Karana Vidya is Para Vidya, which gives you liberation. So this is the analysis. Now the teacher removes the curiosity of the student by calling it as Aksharam. So now student wants to know, what is this? This teacher is telling so many things, all this Paravidya, Aparavidya and all. What is that one thing? So he says it is Aksharam. Aksharam is Karanam is Aksharam, the cause, the causeless cause. And the next question is, what is Aksharam? And the teacher says, he gives the meaning of Aksharam. The meaning of mantra number 6 or the first section of the first Mundaka, Mundakopanishad. We just read Adreshyam. Adreshyam means what? That is not available for the 5 sense organs. It is ungraspable. Adreshyam. And Agotram, that which does not have any family at all. There is no lineage. And then Avarnam, which is free from all properties or descriptions. It is indescribable. It is attributeless. Avarnam. And Achakshuhu Shrotram, which is organless or limbless. So this is Jnanendriya Rahitam, no Jnanendriyas, no sense organs. So first one is what? It is not an object of sense organs. Now it is non-possessor of sense organs also. And Tat Apani Padam. Apani Padam means hands and legs. No hands, no legs. It is Karmendriya Rahitam also. It has no Karmendriyas, organs of action. No organs of knowledge, organs of action. Then Nityam, that is immortal. And then Vibhum. Vibhum means capable of becoming everything. Vibhuhu, that which can become creation, entire creation. And Sarvagatam. Sarvagatam means all pervading. Susukshmam, extremely subtle. And Avyavam. That means without any decay. Avyaya means without any decay. And Bhutayonim. Important word, Bhutayonim, the material cause of all beings. That is known as Akshara. And this Akshara Vidya is Aparavidya. Now the question is, what is the controversy? Why should the mantra is brought in Brahma Sutra at all? The reason is, nowhere in the mantra the word Brahman is used. It says it is material cause, it is Aksharam. So how do we know it relates to Brahman only? And the Sankhya philosopher, he claims Aksharam relates to the Mula Prakriti, which is known as what? Pradhanam. If you remember the term for Prakriti in Sankhya, it is Pradhanam. Fundamental matter in Sankhya philosophy is called the Pradhanam. And we say Bhuta Yoni. Bhuta Yoni, we say Brahman alone. So this is the topic of the 6th Adhikarana. Now we will see the general analysis of the first sutra. So Vishwayoni, Bhuta Yoni here means that's what Brahman alone, that is the topic of the Adhikarana. Now we have to see the sutras. So first let us take the general analysis, first sutra, the one that we just read. So the material cause, unseen, unheard and all that is Brahman alone. That is what is said. It is because of the special properties mentioned here, which belongs to Brahman only. It cannot be fitted for any other thing. And where do we find the specific properties? Where they are mentioned? 3 examples are given. Number 1, a spider example. From the spider, what comes? A spider's web comes. And next is an earth example. And from earth, all the trees and herbs and so many things, they all come. And body, the hairs grow. So similarly, from Brahman, the whole creation comes. As the spider puts its own web, from earth, all the trees and all the oceans, they all come. And from the body, all the hairs and all these things grow. Similarly, from Brahman, the whole creation comes. So spider is both the material cause and intelligent cause of the web. The spiders, the material for making the web, comes also from the spider, and the intelligence to make the web, that is also the spider only. So it is both the material cause, upadana karanam, and intelligence cause, nimitta karanam. Nimitta upadana karanam. All these terms are familiar to you. And the second example is from one earth, varieties of plants come. That is from achetanam, earth is achetanam. From achetanam, chetana vastu comes. From achetana earth, there is chetana vastu. All these trees and plants, they all come, they grow, they should be chetanam. Similarly, from one Brahman also, varieties of creations, they emerge. And the third example is what? The hair growing from the body. So from a live body, earlier we gave a achetana vastu, earth, from which chetana vastu comes. Now we give a chetana vastu from which achetana vastu comes. From a live body, a lifeless hair comes. From chetana shariram, achetana roma comes. Similarly, from chetana Brahman, achetana srishti comes. So from the Brahman, creation comes. Achetana srishti comes from chetana Brahman. In the 9th mantra of the first section of first Mundaka, Mundakopanishad, there is a mantra, Yes Sarvajnaha, Sarvavit, Yasya Jnanamayam Tapaha, Tasmadetad Brahma, Brahma Nama, Rupamannancha Jayate. Shankaracharya gives a significance also here. First from the standpoint of Paravidya, and second from Aparavidya. And Brahman is Aparavidya from material science, as also from spiritual angle also. Shankaracharya keeps in mind Sarvajnaha, Sarvavit. Vyasacharya says material cause has got to be Brahman. Your Prakriti can never be said to be omniscient. It cannot be all-knowing also. Sarvajnaha, Sarvavit, it cannot be. Prakriti cannot even have limited knowledge, and it is Jada Tattvam. And therefore, Aksharam Brahma eva natu achetanam pradhanam. Pradhanam is Prakriti. This is the general analysis of a sutra. And here the sutra has got 2 words. If you want to go to, we will go to the word analysis. It has got 2 words. Adrishyatvam. Adrishyatvam means invisibility, which is described as unseen. That which is endowed with properties of unseenness, unheardness, handlessness, apanihi, apada. So that material cause is Brahman only. Why Brahman? The next word is what? Dharmoktehe. The sutra, next word is Dharmoktehe. After the mention of attributes of Brahman in the Upanishad, Adi. Adi means and the rest, etc. So beginning with Gunakaha. Gunakaha means one who possesses the quality. So Adrishyatwadi Gunakaha, possessor of qualities like invisibility and all that. And Dharmoktehe, because of the mention of qualities, then the word Bhutayonihi. Bhutayonihi means material cause is mentioned in 1.1.9 of Mundaka. In the 9th mantra, first section of first Mundaka, another mantra, Yes Sarvajnaha Sarvavit, Yasya Jnanamayam Tapaham, Tasmadetad Brahma Nama, Rupamannancha Jayate. The sloka we just read. So one of the basic questions of all the systems of philosophy is what all of them say: matter is ultimate cause from which the material universe has come. So material is called differently by different philosophers. We have already seen Sankhya calls them as what? Pradhanam, Prakriti. And Nyaya philosopher, they call it what? Atomic. Whether they call it atom, energy, whatever they call, the matter is fundamental from which the universal has come in all other philosophies. Whereas Vedanta says consciousness is fundamental, and out of consciousness alone, the universe has come. So matter is consciousness or matter is matter. That is the point of discussion. Whether it matters consciousness or matter is matter only. So the Sankhya philosopher says, your conclusion is wrong. He puts various questions. He says, Prakriti alone can be material cause of the world as the entire description tallies with Prakriti only. This is the first point. Prakriti is invisible. It cannot be grasped because Prakriti Tattva cannot be grasped, and it is eternal, and it is Bhutayoni, all-pervading. Not only that, the very translation we give for Prakriti is what? Material cause. Material cause, and so it's matter, material. That's point 2. And how can material cause be consciousness? Material cause has got to be matter only. So all the examples given are in agreement with my conclusion only. Who says? Sankhya philosopher says. Spider, Prithvi, body, hair, their spider's web comes from the body of spider. And body is matter. So from earth, plant kingdom comes, which is again matter. So also hair comes from body, and all the three are matter. Then he says in Mundaka Upanishad, there is no word indicating Chetanatvam or sentiency at all. In the mantras that we read, there is no word indicating Chetanatvam or sentiency. In Antaryami Brahmanam, the Chetanatvam was indicated by many words. But here there is no word to indicate Chetanatvam. That is point 3. And the fourth point is Sarvajnaha and Sarvavit is there in the 9th mantra of Mundaka. 119, and it does not refer to material cause at all, and it talks about Purusha Tattvam, which is Sarvavit and Sarvajna. It is talking about the Purushaha. So don't take the 9th mantra to support the 6th mantra. Try to interpret 6th mantra by itself. And also in the 2nd Mundaka, in the first section, 2nd mantra also, it says Divyohi Amurtaha Purushaha Sa Bhahyabhyantare Antarohyajaha Aprano Hyamanaha Shubbraha Hi Aksharat Parata Paraha. It's a very important system. Aksharat Parata Paraha. Then he says in this mantra, Purusha, the Brahman is described, and that Sankhya philosophy accepts that. Then Brahman is described here, and last description is what? Brahman is beyond Aksharam. That means Brahman is different from Aksharam. When you say beyond Aksharam means what? It should be different from Aksharam. That is, Aksharam is different from Brahman. We don't have to say it, but this reason. Now, Sankhya philosopher says, because of this reason, it is Pradhanam or Prakriti one. Aksharam is different from Brahman, Brahman is different from Aksharam, so it should be only Prakriti or Pradhanam. And for that, what do we answer? All descriptions do not tally with Prakriti. You said a few of them, maybe 1 or 2, but not all. Only some of the descriptions can be extended to Prakriti and not all. Prakriti is invisible, that is true, and it is energy form, adrishyam, that is okay. No problem. But certainly not Nityam, Sarvagatam, and Vibhum. These things, they don't fit into Prakriti. They cannot tally with Prakriti as it is subject to negation by what? By Atmajnanam. Once a person gain Atmajnanam, they can be negated. So in the wake of knowledge, Prakriti is also negated and Brahman alone remains. So it will all come under Maya. So Prakriti is not Nityam and it goes only with Brahman and not with anything else. So all these descriptions go only with Brahman, not with anything else. Prakriti cannot be all-pervading. And according to Sankhya philosopher, because Prakriti produces only inert things, it can pervade only inert things. produces only inert things, it can pervade only inert things. Karanam can pervade only the karyam, its product, and it can never pervade the jivas, and jivas are not product of Prakriti. So any cause can pervade only its product, and it cannot pervade jivaha, which is Chetana Tattvam. And all the pervasiveness also cannot tally with Prakriti. All the attributes tally with Brahman only. But he says, all examples given are Achetana examples. Spider's body is Chetanam or Achetanam? Is Achetanam. Earth is also Achetanam. And body is Achetanam, physical body is Achetanam. Jagat Karanam also must be Achetana. That is his argument. So all these are all Achetana Vastu. So Jagat Karanam also should be Achetana. And Shankaracharya, he hints and he gives an answer also and makes a counter question. You say, you means what? Sankhya's. You say all examples are Achetana. Who says? Shankaracharya says. Then Jagat Karanam also is Achetana. All the examples that you give, all are Pratyaksham. In spider example, spider is Pratyaksham, you can see. In the second example, earth is Pratyaksham. And in the third example, body is Pratyaksham. And in all the three, Karanams are Pratyaksham. Spider is the cause for spider's web. Earth is the cause for all the Oshadhis and Vanaspatis. And the body is responsible for all the hairs and all that. So all the causes, they are all Pratyaksham. Whereas what do you say? Prakriti is not Pratyaksham. And in the example, all are Pratyaksham. So your Karanam is Pratyaksham and it is not acceptable. As you already told, Prakriti is not Pratyaksham. And Sankhya says, in the example, the Karanam is Pratyaksham and you should not extend the example to the real life. Achetanatvam example part you can take. Which part to be extended, which cannot be extended, who can decide? Only the author of the example can decide. For example, I say this person got moon-like face. When we say somebody has got a moon-like face, when four different people want to write a commentary on that statement, this person X has got moon-like face. So four commentators write about it. And one person says, I understood the example all right. His face or her face blooms as we approach Paurnami. And as the Amavasya comes, he will have no face or she will have no face. That is by the moon-like face, because Paurnami is full-blown and Amavasya no more. So face will be like that. And the second person may say, if you study the surface of the moon, we see a lot of craters with mountains and all that. So the face of this person is also very rough face. And the third person may say, moon is invisible in the day and can be seen only in the night. And so also this person also, you cannot find him in the day at all. In the night only is active. And the fourth person commentator may say, moon goes around the earth. And this person also will always be moving around the earth only, all place to place. He can never be found in one place. So who will decide which part of the features the person who wrote the example moon-like face, he kept it in mind? Who can know? So that person may say that the moon is bright and cool. The person, the author who wrote that particular example, he might say the meaning with which I wrote this, moon is bright and cool also. So is this person. So no one has the right to say what he meant when he said face is like moon. Similarly, when we take the example from the Upanishad, the Sankhyas have no right to interpret what the authors of the Upanishad had in mind when giving the spider example. Whether Pratyaksham part was in mind or Achetanatvam was not in mind, all those things. So spider has got, let us say, 8 legs. And this was not kept in the mind. And it should not be taken that Brahman has got 8 legs. So it should be taken that spider is Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam. So also Brahman is Nimitta Upadana Karanam also of creation. Only that much we should take. Again, in the case of earth, what happens? It should be taken that Brahman, from one Brahman, many things have emerged. The entire universe, all living beings, the trees, Vanaspatis, everything have emerged. Similarly, the Chaitanya human being, the sentient being, human being, achetana vastu hair is born. Similarly, from Chetanam Brahman, achetana prapancha has come. So you cannot interpret the example in your way. For example, in the Rajju Sarpa example, snake and the rope example, our popular example, the Advaitin, what he can say? How to extend the example and not others. Because this example is given by whom? This is Advaitin. So he will only tell in what context it should be applied. How to extend the example to so many other things, other people cannot say. If at all, the person who gave the example only can say. So if non-Advaitins take Advaita example, they should ask which part will fit and which part will not. They have to ask the question to the Advaitin first. In your example, which parts are to be taken as the example for the subject matter that you are telling? They extend the example to all other examples where they will not fit. And the fourth mistake is what? Their conclusion, the Sankhya's, and their conclusion is that Advaita is wrong. The Rajju Sarpa, the Rajju means the rope. The rope, a snake, you can extend only when the knowledge of rope removes the ignorance. Only when the knowledge of rope, that alone has to remove the ignorance of rope. So rope and snake have different order of reality. They don't have the same order of reality. How can you then extend Achetanatvam as Jagat Karanam, insentience as Jagat Karanam, and extending the examples is not correct. That is the argument. So example should be understood properly before it is interpreted. And the next one is, no Chetana Dharma is mentioned also here. They talk of inert thing only, and Chetana Dharma is not extended at all. And for this, what our answer is? Chetana Dharma is not mentioned in mantra 6th or the first section of Mundaka, first chapter, first Mundaka, but mentioned in the 9th mantra. 9th mantra talks about Chetana Vastu, but it talks about different subject in support of 6th mantra. According to Sankhya's, 6th mantra talks about Prakriti and 9th mantra about Brahman. And Shankaracharya says no. And he asserts that both talk about Jagat Karanam only, and certain features are mentioned in the 6th mantra and some others are mentioned in the 9th mantra. And there is a word called Bhuta Yonihi. That's what I mentioned in the beginning. It's an important word. Bhuta Yonihi. Bhuta Yonihi means the cause of the universe. And the crucial word is Bhuta Yoni, Jagat Karanam, cause of the universe. And the 9th mantra, what it said? We already read this mantra. Yas sarvajnaha, sarvavit, yasya jnanamayam tapaha, tasmat etad brahmanama rupamannam na jayate. That's what we said. So from this sarvajna, sarvavit alone, sarvajnaha, sarvavit, all these are produced. The names, forms, nourishment, or all of this. Therefore, in the 9th mantra, it is said, Nama Rupas, names and forms, and karma also, they are born from where? From the omniscient Jagat Karanam. And definitely, it is not from Prakriti or Pradhanam, which is not even sentient. Prakriti or Pradhanam are not even sentient, they are inert objects. So both in the 6th mantra, first section of Mundaka, and also 9th mantra, first section of Mundaka, they both talk of Jagat Karanam Brahman alone and not Prakriti, based on the mantras that they read. So Prakriti can never be omniscient. It does not have even the limited knowledge. How it can be Sarvajnaha? With this, the 4th point also is answered. Now we go to the 5th point. And in the 6th mantra, 1.1.6 of Mundaka, it talks about Aksharam identical with Brahman. Aksharam identical with Brahman. And we find, according to Advaitam, it talks about Aksharam, and Vedanta equates Aksharam and Brahma. Aksharam is equal to Brahma in Vedanta. And the Sankhya asks, how could you accommodate the mantra, 2nd mantra of the first section of the 2nd Mundaka? He is bringing that mantra here. Divyohya Murtaha Purushaha Sabhahyabhyantarohya Jaha Apranohya manaha Shubhraha hi aksharatim parata paraha. This I already read this mantra earlier. Where it is said this aksharam and Brahman are different. The word aksharam is used in Upanishad in two different meanings. In fact, Upanishad is doing here a mischief also. In every language, words have got different meanings. In the same way, the word aksharam has two meanings. One is akshara means Maya, and the other aksharam is Brahma. And in the sixth mantra of the first section of first Mundaka Upanishad, the word aksharam is used in the sense of Brahman. And in the second Mundaka, first section, second mantra, the Brahman should be understood as Maya. Aksharam should be understood there as Maya. So Maya is that which pervades the entire creation, and that is why the creation is called Mayika Prapanchaha. Therefore, in the sixth mantra first section of Mundaka, Aksharam is Brahman, and in the second mantra first section of second Mundaka, Aksharam is Maya. So, word Atma is used in the sense of mind. Chaitanyam, physical body, all three are called Atma, depending on the context. Thus, the fifth point is also answered there, and Shankaracharya gives further reasons also that Jagat Karanam is Brahman alone. So, first the Upanishad has said that the knowledge of Jagat Karanam is Paravidya. Now, why do we call it superior knowledge? I mentioned this term earlier. Why should we call it superior knowledge? Why call others Aparavidya? And Shankaracharya says the reason is only Paravidya is liberating knowledge, while the Aparavidya is not liberating knowledge. Liberating knowledge means moksha sadhana. And in this, the fifth and the sixth mantra, it is said Jagat Karana Vidya is Paravidya. That means Jagat Karana Vidya is liberating knowledge. If you know what is Jagat Karanam, then it is liberating knowledge. And now Shankaracharya says, if Jagat Karanam is Prakriti, that means Prakriti Vidya will be Jagat Karana Vidya and Paravidya and liberating knowledge. But according to you, you means what? The Sankhya, the knowledge of Prakriti liberates a person. Sankhya never agrees because they said knowledge of Prakriti can never liberate. So if you accept it like this, then it should liberate. But it can never liberate. Sankhya themselves accept. If Paravidya is liberating knowledge, the Jagat Karana Brahman alone is a liberating knowledge and not Prakriti's knowledge. And Acharya gives also some more additional arguments, which we will perhaps see tomorrow. Yo vedado swara prokto vedante cha pratishtitaha tasya prakriti linasya parasya maheshwaraha purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate.